And this is Typhoon Noru saying good morning to the southern Japanese islands and even extending back towards southern areas of Kyushu where we're already starting to see those outer rain bands. I know this is looping through, but this is the sunrise as the sunlight comes up over the horizon and starts to hit the cloud tops on our storm system. Really can see that popcorn effect and those clouds really starting to bubble up here. On Friday, this storm system really had a very annular shape. It actually looked like it was weakening with some drier inflow, but today, the intensification's coming back around. Actually, you can see right here some dry air on the northern periphery with some wind shear coming in, but now it's wrapping back around itself. The convection continuing to kick up. Winds at this time already being reported, staying up near 100 knots, 37.7 meters per second here, all really across Kagoshima Prefecture. Now, do remember, that is really in the right side of this storm, down from Kagoshima City all the way down here towards the south, and you even have these areas down here around the Amami Islands. Okinawa is over here, by the way, so if you are in Okinawa and you're thinking, where's this typhoon at? Which I have seen that question. It's just towards the north. But the big thing about typhoons and what makes them so potent is that the pressure gradient is not steep away from the center of circulation. It rapidly increases as we get closer to the center, where you are seeing this banding here. And the tighter the pressure gradient, of course, that's where the higher winds are. So if you are not in these bands right now, it's actually probably a pretty decent day as far as weather is concerned, just outside of that. And our storm system is going to continue to track away from you. So if you are out here towards the south, don't really worry about this storm system. The Amami Islands getting pounded right now, though, with a rain band just along the southern periphery of this. Expecting to continue to occur as our storm system kind of lingers here around the Amami Islands. And then it's going to start to intensify as it gets a little bit of wind shear, just a little, help influence the outflow aloft, plus it's moving over some warm sea surface temperatures, and then it'll start to move towards the north as we head into Sunday morning through the afternoon hours, making landfall right around Kagoshima City, actually right near Sakurajima, one of the most active volcanoes in Japan. And with that mention, a lot of the area out here in Kyushu is very volcanic, and that means the threat landslides is actually going to be relatively high across these areas. And with winds also gusting at landfall around 100, gusting to 125 knots, according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center out of Hawaii. That's with the U.S. military. But I think that their forecast and their intensity is pretty valid, so that's why I'm sharing with this one here. Yeah, I think the landslide threat for Kyushu is the bigger issue. The southern Japanese islands, yeah, you are getting these winds, but do remember that these areas out here are built like bunkers. They get typhoon strength winds every season, and as long as people stay indoors and heed warnings from local officials, you definitely should be able to avoid any injuries out here, and definitely stay away from windows. Remember, the building codes for the southern Japanese islands are definitely very high as far as they are around the world. And right now, though, this is actually just some footage from NHK, just also advising on the fact that we are looking at a 1 in 50 year rain event out across many of these areas, just because of the very slow nature of this typhoon. Backs off here towards the north and eventually more towards the northeast. But right now, the rain's a big issue, and yeah, especially in a lot of these areas in southern Kyushu along the eastern seaboards, where that moisture is just going to be flowing onshore. Some locations might see as much as 5 to maybe 800 millimeters. I know that sounds like a lot, but yeah, a slow-moving typhoon just lingering across the mountains, that's about what you would expect. It sounds pretty extreme, and if you're not used to the geography of this area, probably sounds a little absurd, but it's very reasonable and very well possible. All right, guys, that is all for me today. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, as always, post them down there in the comment box below. I always appreciate all the feedback all the time, guys. You're the best. All right, thanks for watching.